I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Jesper de Jong.
I'm Henry Laakson.
I am Francisco Cerundolo, and you are listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Hey, welcome back, tennis fans. Indian Wells is over, and we're on to the second part of the Sunshine Double. It's Miami. You can see the skyline in the background there. God, it looks fantastic, and I can't wait for this one. Last year, we had Iga. She was the one who won both of them. Well, Rybakina's just taken the first. Will she get the Sunshine Double this year? We'll find out as we go through our draw reaction now to the women's draw. JG, looking very summery there. Miami colours on.
Yeah, I'm all Miami'd out at the moment. We've just had Indian Wells. I want to quickly touch on Indian Wells and congratulate Rybakina and Carlos Alcaraz. And Carlos Alcaraz, we will be doing a podcast on that later on for sure. But just briefly, the achievements of this 19-year-old, the first teenager to beat Nadal on clay, the first male teenager to reach world number one in the Open era, and the first male teenager to win the US Open since 1990. He's now got another one. He's now the first teenager to win the Indian Wells and Miami, so the Sunshine Double. The kid is simply generational. He's going to be there to win everything. He is the new Big Three era all in one. I think he's got facets of play from Djokovic, Nadal, and Federer. It's just so exciting. I mean, I was sleeping last night and all I could think about was Carlos Alcaraz.
Well, that's an interesting dream to be having. Hopefully it was...
I've not stopped thinking about him. I don't know if other people are listening thinking the same. I just can't get out of my head how quick he was on the court and how he was getting to the net and just volleying things down, the drop shots. It's just an exciting game style he has. And I was mesmerised by his performance against Medvedev. I thought Medvedev had a chance of winning. I even predicted Medvedev to win. But Carlitos, next gen, another level. I mean, he could take all of the slams left.
This is becoming like a bit of a JG regularity, I feel. Every time we do a women's either draw preview or draw reaction, he had Yannick Sinner that we spoke about for the last time on a draw preview, and now it's Carlos Alcaraz. Don't worry, there will be a men's draw reaction as well, and we can go to
Ben,
town.
I've got to talk about it. Carlos just won. It's the last time I was on air was about Carlos Alcaraz, so I've not had a chance to digest it.
Wow, maybe she'll be singing more Jelena Rybakina's praises.
Well, she was awesome too. But that was one I thought she was going to win. I had her to beat Saba in the final, and she crushed it. And maybe we start with that, actually. So let's have a look at the new rankings, because they are out. Alcaraz is world number one at the moment, but that's enough of him. Let's move over to the women's. And this is the new WTA rankings as of the 20th of March. So this week, as of today, Iga remains number one. Saba remains number two. Pegula 3. Garcia moves up 1 to 4. Ons Jabeur down to 5. Coco Gauff 6th. Here she is. They're backing her. She moves up 3 and is now 7th in the world. It's only a matter of time, right, until she is 1, 2, or 3.
Yes.
I'm not going to say top 5. I think she's a 1, 2, or 3 type of girl.
I think that she could be knocking on the door of number one at some point. If she keeps up with this form, I mean, making finals, winning events now, it's incredible. She's made 2 Grand Slam finals now in her career, won one of them, and now she's added a Masters where she'd only her best before that at Indian Wells was quarterfinals, and now she goes on to win it the next year. So sky's the limit. And I heard something interesting the other day, which it was in another sport, but they said when you become a champion, you become 30% better overnight. And I feel that that's true for Jelena Rybakina. The confidence level has gone up a notch, and she just looks like a complete world beater now. And to do that to Saba, who I think it was an entertaining match. I think she played really well, Sabalenka. I don't think that it was a one-sided beatdown. It was competitive, and she still found a way to just beat her in 2, which you did say at the start of the match. Well done.
Yeah, I really like that, Ben. Great quote. Hopefully you can bring some more quotes to the podcast.
Yeah, that's me. I listen to watch a lot of UFC, so they'll get a good few quotes from there. So, and here
Yeah,
you go.
not great for Sakari though, because she's moved down 3. So Rybakina and Sakari have exchanged places. Sakari could drop outside the top 10, maybe. She can't keep up her semi-finals. She needs to keep getting semi-finals just to keep the points coming, just so she's
Well,
not
yeah.
losing any.
Well, she was a finalist last year at Indian Wells, and this year just the semi-finalists. Very good record getting that deep in the competition, but
She will stay in the top 10. I think she's good enough to go far in events where she'll be able to maintain top 10, but it will be 9 or 10.
and we will find out which part of the draw that she is in and give our reaction to how far we believe that Sakari will go in this one as well. Have we got any others that we want to go through before that, or do we want to just get stuck in straight away?
I'm happy to get straight into it, Ben. So this
Okay.
is our Miami Open reaction. We will be doing a draw preview later on, but this is just the reaction for now. And the number 1 seed is Iga. Of course, a little bit disappointed she lost to Rybakina in straight sets in Indian Wells. I thought she was nailed on to win that. Of course, she did win it the year prior, and the surface just seemed to suit her. Of course, she did win Miami as well because she won the Sunshine Double, and I think she's still probably the favourite coming into this one because you can never ever write off Iga. However, the big thing about this is I'm looking at this right now and seeing is Rybakina in a different section to her because she will want to avoid her, and I think she'd even want to avoid her completely until a final. So that's what I'm looking out for here. Is Rybakina on the other side of the draw?
Well, I'd like to give you your credit where it's due with your predictions. And somebody called Raducanu to win Indian Wells, and I don't think they've had their credit where they're due. Do you think that's right, JG?
Well, who had that? Was it you?
This guy.
I completely forgot. So fair play, Ben. I would take my hat off to you, but I do have a pineapple.
Oh,
head
don't do
today.
it! Don't do that! Don't do that!
It's a pineapple. Whoop, too much hair going on. So, yeah, well done, Ben. You smashed it out the park. I knew it would happen eventually. You do spend a lot of time with me on the podcast, so eventually that J Genius spell would rub off on you. But I'm glad you're getting a bit of an ounce of it now.
That's me just doubling down on my Rybakina number 2 at the end of the year prediction. I think
Well, it worked out well.
It's me like Badoza last year didn't work out very well at all. So hopefully this one goes a bit better for me. Right, let's start with Iga anyway. Bye through the first round. And looking down here in this little section, first name that pops out, Yelena Ostapenko, who she obviously had an amazing match earlier on in 2022. That was one of the matches she actually lost. It was in the tiebreak, I believe, in the 3rd set. Was it Dubai or Doha? I think it was Dubai or Doha, one of the two.
Middle East.
And yeah, a very, very tough match. And you never know with that. That's not somebody everyone want to avoid, Ostapenko. Yep. Just an annoying person to have in your side of the draw.
Gene saying Iga Ostapenko, potential 4th round. Yeah, that could be a good one, certainly. But I'm not so worried about it because I think Iga can handle Ostapenko. She's not in the greatest of form at the moment. And, well, I've just seen it. So you've ruined it. I didn't realise until now, but Rybakina is in this section of Iga.
The quarter, yes.
So it's a nightmare. They will play in the same quarter, potentially. We could be looking at Iga versus Rybakina, and that just blows everything open. I mean, Iga's going to be devastated with that.
That's not
she
good.
She really is.
That really isn't doing her any favors. And I feel that it's good for Iga, though, because if she really wants to get over the disappointment of the last 2 defeats, the best way is to go up against her again. And if she gets the win, then it will sort of steady the ship and get her mental back in the right place, because she looked a little bit defeated on court. I know she said about a slight injury, but I don't think you can take it away from Rybakina. She played so well. I don't think even fully fit Iga would have been able to beat her on that day. You saw what she did to Saba in the final. She was just a bit of a steamroller in the whole tournament.
Yeah.
And you alluded to how well she serves compared to the likes of Saba. She's consistent all the way. There's no double faults being thrown in there, or not as many anyway. She's just a very, very consistent tennis player.
Anchor saying Rybakina will be tired. Could that play a factor?
Was Iga tired last year when she won back-to-back Masters events? You've got to ask yourself the question. Like, these are young tennis players. And
Yeah, Jean also mentioned Beatrice Haddad-Maia beat her in Toronto last year. She's in that section as well. So if she doesn't play Ostapenko, most likely it'll be Haddad-Maia and another player who can beat Iga. So I'm looking at this draw, and for a number 1 seed, I think it's horrendous for Iga. It is
yes.
horrendous.
Yep.
And I said that she's the big favourite, but maybe you could be looking at Rybakina as the favourite. I think it's between them two. Saber, of course, you can consider, but I think them two are stronger right now. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, her being the number 10 seed is just a nightmare for the rest of the higher seeds in the draw.
Well, it won't last for long.
Yeah, for sure.
It'll be a matter of time and she'll be right up there for sure. Before you move on, though, Ben, just stay with this because I've got another thing to say about Iga, and that is the big news which has come out a few hours ago. So if you share the tweet I just sent you,
okay,
I don't know if you've still got it up. It was Luigi Gatto.
Oh, okay.
And while you do that, I'll just take you through it. So, yeah, Iga and Ben Shelton will wear on from head to toe starting this week at Miami Open. So finally, Iga has a better brand representing her. And the reason I say it's a better one, because I think it's just going to look a lot better. Before, I believe she was with Asics, which I think are great for trainers. Highly recommend them. In fact, the most comfortable pair of trainers I've ever had were a pair of Asics. But I don't like what they do with clothes, and they look ugly as hell. I think now, finally, Iga gets the makeover she deserves. And a lot of you will know this brand from Roger Federer.
Yes.
Roger Federer wore the On. I don't know if it is called On.
It's
maybe
like
it is.
On or On Running. They're the sort of the name of the
Yeah.
brand, I think. But On you can use, yeah, for sure.
They were known for shoes, but
Yes.
now they're going into the apparel range as well. And I'm so happy for Iga because she deserved an improvement in her clothes. Her tennis was great, but this is exactly what she needed. If it wasn't Nike, I quite like a new brand. And I think it's great news for Shelton as well, because he's certainly the future of the game.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like really pulling those outfits off based upon those two pictures as well. Really good. And can't wait to see them. Can't wait to see them on the court. That's the main thing, and see how that they play in them. Because if they have success in them, imagine the stock's going to shoot through the roof. So very, very good signings for On.
Yeah, they've done good. They've done very well indeed.
So back to this.
Back to the tennis. Not as important as the clothes, but we will talk about
it. That's it. So looking down this one, I can't really see any names not in bold that are really going to trouble any of the seeds.
There'll be a bold name coming out.
Yeah, we got Paula Badoza.
Ooh, unlucky for her. She may be playing Rybakina early. Not great draw for Paula Badoza. Should have hoped to avoid her.
Well, she played her in the last tournament in the exact same part as well, I believe, and then got beaten in straight sets. So the draws are sort of nearly similar to Indian Wells.
Very similar.
Yeah. So moving down, anybody else here?
Brenda Fruhvirtova.
Yep.
Actually got a chance of coming out of here. She'd have to beat a potential Alicia Parks, a Mertens, a Kasatkina. This is a good section. I think there's a good few players who are not in bold, and I always look at that because, of course, they're not the seeded players. And there's some unseeded players here who are dangerous. You've got the other Fruhvirtova as well.
Yep.
And Alicia Parks, we know she's another good young talent.
Yeah, that means
of course, Elise Mertens, unseeded as well, is just a bit of a, I don't know. She's an experienced player now. I know she's still pretty young, but I look at her as someone who's been on the tour for a long time and can do damage, but she's just a bit weak.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't have a very good showing in the last tournament. Indian Wells lost in the first round to Wang. So it'd be interesting to see how she gets on in this tournament. She's an up and down player. Like one tournament terrible, the next tournament could be in the semi-finals or something. So it's just one of those with Elise Mertens. And Parks, she's lost her last three. Well, or lost 4 out of her last 5 after winning Lyon. But she's still young, still learning. So I'm excited to see how she gets on. Obviously, Covey, that was his standout young player for this year that he wanted to keep an eye on. So he'll be keeping a close eye on her, I'm sure.
I had her going out first round in the last one, and I think I'll be doing the same again. I think it's going to take some time to adjust.
Good call. Obviously, we've got Kasatkina. She's not really been on any sort of form this year whatsoever. And JPEG, Jessica Pegula, she starts the next section. So this is the second half of this top section. means that she could meet Iga in a semi-final.
Yep, that's correct. And I'm looking at this and I think it's nice. No offense to Magdalena Net and Danielle Collins. I think they're out of form and not great seeded players right now.
Yeah.
The one who is tricky is, of course, Azarenka. We know it is an Azarenka which isn't getting younger. And I know in Indian Wells it wasn't the greatest of showing, but she did come up against someone very good in Mukova, and it went all the way to 3 and it was quite tight. So I actually fancy Azarenka going far again. I think she likes playing in the US, especially on these hard courts.
Speak
So has a
about
good
Mukova.
chance.
Yeah, Mukova. I saw yesterday how mad Mukova did so well at Indian Wells, and going out to the eventual winner. Gave her a toughest match of the whole entire tournament, Mukova. The only person to take a set off of Rybakina in that Indian Wells run. And she's gone straight into the qualifying for Miami, and poor old Heather Watson had to play her in the qualifying and got double breadsticks. Not the person you want to come up against, Mukova, in qualifying.
No, it's crazy that she has to qualify.
I know, but poor
She'll
old
be
Heather.
up there soon. I think she's a top 20 player right now, the way she's playing.
Keep an eye out for the qualifiers in this one. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's a good point you mentioned, actually. Yeah, the qualifiers could do well. I mean, if we saw a Mukova there with Hailey Baptiste, there's no reason why she can't beat Samsonova afterwards and King Wing Zhen, who's not in good form, and head that whole section. So we could see a qualifier going really far.
Yeah.
King Wing Zheng, what do you want to say about her? Of course, the other young player, me and you both have her in our top 10 this year. Been a tad disappointing, had a few injuries, a little bit like Alicia Parks. Of course, she's a little bit further on in her development, but I think it's still going to take her some time to adjust and play consistently week in, week out. So I would give her time. However, I think this event may become a little bit too soon. I'll be surprised if we see her go really far, but it is possible. You know, she's got the level. She's got the level to get to a semi-final here in Miami.
Yeah, I know that she was obviously pulled out, I think, of her last matchup or last tournament. She was supposed to be playing Samsonova in Dubai, withdrew from that one due to
injury problems.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. And that was the last time we saw her. I'm hoping she's healed, because if she is, we know that she's going to be really competitive. But just give yourself the time to get back onto the tour properly. Don't just force yourself just into a Masters event just to aggravate an injury. But she does have a bye, so gives her a little bit more time anyway.
And quickly, while we do have Vika on the screen, it's important that she does live in Florida. That's correct, Kathy. So it is kind of her home tournament in which she's won it 2 times. So factor that in as well.
That's a big thing as well. She's won so many tournaments. Always a threat. Potapova, she's a really, really good sort of informed player up until, I think, the last event. I don't think she did particularly well in the last event, but up until then, she was looking good. Maybe it was just too much. She played too much tennis. Might be fresh again.
Coco's round from Miami as well, but I may be wrong.
I'm not sure.
Coco
Have a look.
is definitely around sort of Florida area.
Well, it rings a bell, but I don't know. Maybe
I know Delray Beach, I think, is close to her, so that's why I say it.
I'm not sure where she resides.
Yeah, so Vika lives in Boca Raton. I think Delray Beach is also in Florida, because I have been to Boca Raton and I've also been to Delray Beach. So the places I've been.
Because I know that Coco she's from Atlanta, but I'm not sure where she resides. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think we need to.
TFO lives in Orlando. Cheers for that, Cafe. Didn't realise.
Nice.
Anyway, let's move down to Coco Gauff. I think she'll be pleased with this section, and I think she can beat all of them seeded players. And I look at the unseeded, and the only one who's dangerous is Kostyuk.
And maybe set up a quarterfinal. Is it a quarterfinal with her doubles partner, Jessica Pegula? Yep. Potentially. So that could be on the cards. You never know. Interesting.
Yeah, so Delray is for Coco. So I was right.
Okay, there you go.
South Florida. See?
Good.
I know my America.
Good memory, JG. There you go. That must be having your alpha brain or whatever it is. Okay, we'll move.
What's that?
I don't know. It's another Joe Rogan thing. He uses just to keep his memory going. He just takes it every day. And it just keeps him on top of remembering words, remembering facts, apparently. So
Arena lives in Miami too, Gary. Gary says he knows all about where Arena lives. He moved there just because she moved there. He moved next door.
Surprised he's not got a place in Belgrade.
Oh, he does.
Probably.
He's got
Right.
a boat there.
Oh, GSL. Right. This is the next half of the draw, and this is the one with Sabalenka will be at the bottom half of the draw. Maybe we'll start at the top of half. This is with Sakkari, and look at this top little section. We've got Sakkari with a bye. Then we've got the big one everyone's talking about, Bianca Andreescu versus Emma Raducanu, round 1. Wow. Raducanu probably not very happy about that draw.
This is insane. Look at the unseeded players. Sophia Kenin, Taylor Townsend,
Layla
Fernandez.
I know. Noskova.
Listen, I hope Layla Fernandez doesn't get Mukova. You don't want Mukova in this section as a qualifier. It could happen.
I mean, this is a crazy section. Considering
This is insane.
We looked at one of the other sections. It didn't even look too bad. It looks like Pagula's going to be rubbing her hands together,
Yeah.
I think.
Sakura is going to be a little bit disappointed with this because she's going to have to play some tough matches. I don't see Raducanu getting out of it at all. I think it's tough for Andreescu as well.
Yeah.
And whoever can get there, it's going to be a big feat. But for some weird reason, my money's on Bencic.
I was saying that she was a little bit disappointed. She lost to Teichmann and Indian Wells. I expected a lot more from Bencic.
Yeah, but I think she's a strange player. She has a bad tournament, then can become good. She could come good in this one and take all of these out.
Potential injury, maybe. I'm not sure. I saw
Sakkari would be favourite though, but I fancy Bencic to do it as an upset.
Yeah. Well, imagine if Raducanu was to win, let's say, against Andreescu, which will be a really tough match. I'm not saying
Sakkari.
And then she would face Sakkari for the first time since she played at the US Open, where she demolished him. Sakkari gets in her own head quite a lot on court. That's the problem with Sakkari.
Sakkari beats her now. She gets revenge. Early stages. If it was a semi-final, I fancy Raducanu, but if it's not, I fancy Sakkari.
That's true. Good point there.
And it's interesting. Yeah, good point from Brand Say. These are all the players in the US Open run for Raducanu. Bencic, Sakkari, Fernandez.
Remember from the start.
This is Emma's run. She might beat them all again. She likes playing them. In America as well. What more can she want?
Well, we could potentially have, what is that? A 1, 2, 3, 4th round Fernandez Raducanu.
No chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's tall order.
Zero chance. I think it's tough for both of them to get there.
Well, let's just see how they get
either of them. I'll be surprised if either of them get there. Both of them, virtually impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably 100 to 1. Let's keep moving down anyway. We got Petra Kvitova there. She could have a potential next round matchup. I think Noskova will get past Bronzetti. Oh no, we got Anisimova hiding.
Anisimova Brengel. Listen, I hope Anisimova demolishes Brengel. I've had a bad experience with her recently where I betted against her and it just went bad because Brengel ended up winning.
Who was it?
I don't want to talk about that one, but I just hope Amanda Anisimova double bagels Brengel. She just needs to be.
If Anisimova loses this one, I'm sorry. I'm done with her for the year. I don't know if I can handle it.
5th in your rankings.
6th,
right up
I think. It's just she needs to turn it on soon. She needs to start getting interested in tennis.
That's going to be as bad as your Badoza, Sophia Kenin. Is Anisimova like the 3rd name in your Hall of Fame bad picks?
Skatov.
I think you've got a few names in there now of like terrible selections.
You're a
like me. I've got one. I've got Muguruza
and Osaka.
The Osaka one's not that bad. Come on,
well,
she's pregnant.
She ended
up
pregnant,
Ben.
Well, now she is. Back then she was.
She had mental health problems. Are you making light-hearted jokes about mental health? It's a serious thing.
She ended up lower in the rankings than Kenin.
She had mental health issues.
Donna Vekic. I know that you're a big fan of a Donna. So
do like a bit of Donna, especially after a few beers, and I think she could do quite well.
Yeah,
not mad at that draw at all. I think it's quite nice. Kvitova, of course, is playing extremely well, and that'll be the tough one. Kvitova will be favourite if they play, but Vekic won't be too angry. I think it's a great match. It's a really good one to watch. I think it's going to be quite even, and for the neutral, an exciting one.
Yeah, definitely.
If you've got tickets to go to Miami, I recommend watching Vekic Kvitova. You could be in for a good one.
If Anisimova turns up this tournament, then Anisimova Vekic will be really entertaining. If not, it's just going to be a whitewash for Vekic. But moving down, we got Ons Jabeur back again after disappointment against Vondrousova in the last event.
You've just missed two players I want to speak about: Andreeva, the young
I was gonna
Russian,
say that
and
one.
Kruger, two young
Andreeva.
guns who are very good. I fancy Andreeva to win the Battle of the Wild Card.
Yeah, that'll be entertaining, that one. I'm looking forward to see who has to play. It's going to be Zhang in the next round. Not an easy matchup at all. So got Garcia here. She's going to probably be happy with this little section, I think. It's not the worst section.
No, it's not bad at all. It really isn't.
Sestaya, maybe. It's not bad.
Pliskova.
Yeah.
Are you going big on the Plisk this time? She was in your top 10, I think, last year.
All right.
Let's get past that.
What? She'll be back in there this year. I've got rid of her. She's like a yo-yo player, old Plisk. Can't ever predict what she's going to do. But I'm not sure if this section's very good for her, to be honest.
It's a Garcia section.
Yeah, and then we move down here, and we've got Vondrousova, like an unseeded one there that you might want to watch out for. Yeah, Krejcikova. Hopefully she can get back to some form again.
Important to remember this. Sestaya is the one who beat Garcia at Indian Wells.
So
they could play
again
very early. Yeah, could be another one early doors.
It's not that easy.
In fact, Garcia's first match back would be Sestaya. That'll be the first one after she played. So she'll play her and lost to Indian Wells and play again in Miami. I think she gets revenge this time, maybe though.
Yeah, you'd think that she needs to up her game just slightly, and then she'll probably get it done. Moving down, Sasnovich against Galfi. And then we got Blinkova and Niemeyer down there. Rogers.
Niemeyer.
This one's an interesting one for unseeded. Rogers versus Stevens.
Well, two Americans who aren't in good form at the moment. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'd probably fancy Rogers, but who knows?
What about Montgomery? You're a bit of Montgomery fan?
I like Montgomery. I reckon she beats Bogdan. I think she struggles against Keys. But what's Keys been up to? I mean, Keys is not playing at the level we know she can.
No,
she's
definitely
just another strange player. A bit like Anisimova. I mean, Indian Wells, she went out to Sestaya and it was a walkover. She lost the first set 6-1 and then just retired. So not sure how fit Madison Keys is. And Robin Montgomery has a chance of beating her.
We could be seeing here Saba versus Krejcikova again. They seem to always be. It's like the Iga and Rybakina, Krejcikova, Saba. It seems to be always in the same section for this one, a 4th round matchup. It looks like. So I'm excited if we get to see that one again. That one's very entertaining.
I fancy Saba to do the same thing. Maybe
I would as well. Right now, I feel that
it was close though, right?
Yeah, I mean, she's played three sets against. That was her only loss before Rybakina this year.
No, but I mean, the last time they played, how close was it?
Yeah,
what was the score?
3 sets to Saba.
No, but the score and the sets.
Oh, don't quote me on that.
Love to know them.
I guess it must have been quite close.
I'd love to get it up. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm sure I'll be able to dig it out. She lost to her in 3, and then she beat her in 3. Yeah, 6-3, 6-2, 6-4. The other sets. So
okay.
Final
set had the more comfortable of the sets, and yeah, I mean there was nothing in it. So that is a 50-50 matchup again. But I'd maybe just fractionally favour Saba because she beat her last time.
I definitely would. I feel like she's starting to turn the corner, maybe a little bit with the confidence. So
Gary.
Well, unless you go back and watch the final and watch the tiebreak, then you'll probably say she's got all the confidence. She can't even serve out for the set.
That tiebreak was something else.
I don't know what to make of it. I'd need to go and watch it again because it was just, I couldn't believe my eyes. How are they just both so many errors on set point? No one wanted to win the set, it seemed. Saba she looked like she wanted to cry on court, and I don't blame her. Anyway, but Saba, I think she can get through this section, and if she does get through that section, I think that she has an all right I don't know. I don't think the top seeds in this section would even trouble. I think that the real tough ones would come in maybe the 4th round with like a Krejcikova. I don't think she would be as troubled by an Ons Jabeur, a Garcia, and maybe even with a Sakkari. So is she going to be just hoping to keep the form until she gets around this section, and then she's all pretty much through to the final?
Yeah, well, I think that is our reaction summed up. Before we go, though, Ben, let's just give one dark horse from what we've seen as an unseeded player. So as a change, rather than just 20 or above, let's just go for an unseeded player as a bit of a dark horse. And I'm going to go mental. I'm going to go for one not even on here, and that is Karolina Mikova.
I was going to say the same. So, all right, that's a good one. That was the obvious
Get in
one.
there earlier. It's not the obvious one, Ben. I've got in there nice and early. Mikova as my dark horse, and she's not even qualified yet.
Well, hopefully she goes out then.
JG.
I hope she gets knocked out.
Raducanu. She's there for you, Ben. There for the taking.
I was going to say maybe Andreescu. I think it's a good opportunity for her.
So you're going to be cheering Andreescu to beat Raducanu?
No, I won't. Maybe Leylah Fernandez. Maybe this is her time.
No, you can't have her. She's not one of your players.
I'll go through this little section then. Have a little look.
You would never pick her. There's Georgie there. Look, skip past Georgie. Mertens.
Don't do this to me.
Fruhvirtova, you like her? Claire Lou.
Stop it, please.
I'm just saying some names just to try and get the memory going again. Kostyuk.
I just don't. There's just not really that any just jump out off of this the stage.
Teichmann.
Teichmann. Why are you playing games with me? Stop it. Maybe I'll throw in.
Oh, there she is. Bronzetti there. That's the one you're looking for.
That's the one. Bronzetti is the one. No, maybe. Well,
we've got Suwon Lim saying crazy. Mukova not even qualified. Yeah, well, I am very brave, but I think she could go far again.
Maybe, I don't know, Noskova, maybe?
Jean's gone for Noskova.
Yeah, I think it's a tough one, though, because she goes and faces Kvitova straight away, which is not going to be easy. But if she beats her, maybe. Who knows?
I think it's Noskova, but...
Oh, well, I'll have to brush up on it.
No, but we've been saying it wrong, that's all. Probably that's how it is. Gary actually likes Noskova and Fruhvirtova.
We're going to have to update our Medvedev pronunciation soon as well, I'm sure.
Medvedev.
Yeah.
You actually said Daniil Medvedev.
Medvedev.
I
don't know. Emphasis is always on the middle part. It's tough. British, we don't really do that. So to try and change that in the way we pronounce, we'll do it. Don't worry. We're still learning. But that's our reaction. Exciting. I can't wait for the men's draw now. See what goes on with that. But we will be doing a draw preview later on this evening. So make sure you join us for that. And we'll be giving you our picks. And hopefully I can have another winner. Rybakina won. I won. JG, maybe you can get one back on me in this one.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Thank you, everyone, for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Let us know who your dark horse is in the comments section. And, of course, join us for the preview later on.
We'll see you then.
See you then. Anything left to say?
Nah. Just goodbye.
Okay, thanks for watching. Vamos, Carlitos!